Welcome everybody to the Masters Disc Golf World Championships in Flagstaff, Arizona. This is a PDGA major presented by MVP Disc Sports. Your coverage has been brought to you all week long by Ace Run Pro. I'm Jennifer Allen, joined here by
Holly Finley, and today the ladies will be playing the Little America Crew course.
Field has been cut to 8, and here are our front 9 results.
Ohn at 30 under, Holly at 26, Stephanie at 17, and Jennifer at 16 under par.
Hole number 10 is going to start us out at 337 feet. This is a par 3. You're going to want to hit your straight line through this gap, preferably. Hyzering off to the left does open up for a better putt. Main mistake is just releasing late and going there on the right side. It's pretty heavily wooded. Left side is a lot more open. Again, this course is full of lava rock, so the skips really not out there. Jump putts a little dangerous. Have to watch your footing.
Jennifer up first. She hits the main gap. It's cutting left early, but you make it about halfway down the fairway.
I don't know why I feel like this hole is short. I just basically spike hyzered my T-bird. Ohn corrects that and takes the flat, beautiful line there with probably a destroyer. Doesn't get the skip. Yeah, but that's still beautiful.
Stephanie pulls it a bit right, and we've seen this from her in previous days on this hole. I'm going with a speed 9 disc.
That holds the line just perfect, and you're going to be maybe out just on the line of circle 1 there, left side.
Stephanie looking to scramble for par.
She hit this upshot perfect to save the par previously, so that one just a little bit shorter. Again, today we have the right to left, that is opposite, and that stable Yeti just hyzers straight out.
Yeah, that's going to
I needed it to turn.
Hefty par putt.
We're at 7,000 feet, so everything a little more stable. Ohn just pitching up underneath the basket.
Looking at about 40 feet for birdie.
This is your hole. You hit a couple of huge putts on this hole.
They were all big putts,
They
actually.
were. That's a beautiful birdie hole.
Probably
way to start the back 9.
Best hole of the weekend. Vincent.
I literally was on the side. That disc stood up for a second, completely vertical on the rim. Unfortunately, falls to the right and out. I felt like I had that one. A little bit of a tailwind, I guess, but it looked like a headwind. Thought it would lift. Nope. So
the accuracy was good, though, right in the center.
Yeah, and I was talking to my son about that this week. I really, really focus hard on the straight line. Mm-hmm. And I think when I focus so much, I lose just a rotation or two on the spin. So unfortunately, Stephanie and I are going to tap out our bogeys there.
Let's check out hole 11, my favorite shorty on the course, a par 3, only 178 feet. You've got this main gap the drone is flying through, which is my preferred route. I like Innova mid. Just send it to the left of these trees that the basket is hiding behind, hopefully hitting the rocks around the green and landing you in the circle for a putt. It's a very satisfying gap to hit.
It is, and you just really don't know what the rocks are going to do. And you have been hitting this so clean. If it could just squeak around that tree there, that would give a look at the ace run. Ohn giving full flex with a destroyer.
Oh.
And We thought we were really scared for our cameraman's life because Ohn just smashed him with the destroyer.
There's not space to move around quickly.
You can't move quick on these rocks. I mean, you'll fall down the hill.
And we saw, if you watched yesterday's coverage, Jen was juicing all of her shots, okay? But today, she's got really good distance control.
Yeah, really trying to just put that up there as soft as possible. My son looked back to me, and I forget what he said, but like he was making fun of me of how soft I barely threw that one. Stephanie gets good distance and hits, and unfortunately catches edge. She's going to roll outside circle 1, I believe.
Ohn has a scary downhill birdie putt, sends it.
Yeah, bouncing off the left side of the rim. Doesn't go too far, maybe about 18. Looks like Stephanie didn't go quite as far as we thought, so she's going to smash that par save.
I love the way the sun is illuminating that 11 basket.
So pretty. There was a hole at Tut Hill like that. Hole 17. I love looking back at 17. It's just so magical.
Beautiful. For birdie.
And that's a tricky spot. I was over there the day before. You have to kind of go underneath that little branch there, and you risking your kneecaps kneeling down on those rocks.
Good birdie.
That felt good after
Improvement.
the double bogey.
Yeah, improvement from yesterday. And this is Ohn's par save. Excuse me, coming through.
I felt so trapped. I was like, where do I go? Left, right, move, don't fall. All right, so that's a par save for Ohn, and we are moving on.
I'll take slow walk.
Imagine, your favorite disc is unreachable. How will you recover? Have no fear. Introducing the ARM Augmented Reaching Mechanism. Providing players with over 21 feet of reach, users will face no challenge retrieving trapped discs in nearly any scenario. For further flexibility, the ARM comes with 2 grabbing devices, the pivotable rectangle and the double claw. Go to your local retailer and ask for the ARM today.
Hole number 12, we're going slightly downhill again. This is 270 feet, par 3, OB road there along the right side. You can risk that hyzer all the way down the road. Just be careful if you get a kick to the right coming back in. Safer route is to the left, going straight, or even a forehand. Left side does open up pretty good to the basket to have a look for birdie. You've been taking this hyzer side all week. That one just a hair early.
First time I didn't hit the right side gap.
And I went so long, so I tried to fluff this one again. And
are you meaning to throw it that high?
That one, I was about to say that I think because I threw it softer, it took an air bounce up.
Okay.
So I feel like that one, I released good. It just air bounced into the branches, dropped me straight down. Ohn catching tree.
Ohn's taken a variety of routes here on this hole.
She really
all week.
has. And that was something I found in practice that every time I come through, there was like 3 or 4 shots on every hole. And so really have to just pick one and go with it. You're trying to turn that over towards the basket, finding a little bit of tree.
And Ohn taking a risky upshot
Risky.
The out of bounds, but she is safe looking at a par. And I'm going to have to probably scramble for bogey here.
Yeah.
That was another misfire.
There's just so many little random trees here and there.
Very disappointing.
I did not really have a great look at left or right, so I'm trying to give it a skip, but like I was a little more scared than Ohn was. I didn't want to push that OB line too much.
I hate that because you were so close to the basket.
Yeah, but there just wasn't a look. And I, again, feel like I get a birdie and just throw it away.
The old birdie
so
bogey.
Easy out here to do. So this is to save par.
From circle's edge. Off the front again.
Yeah, they're feeling good. They're just dropping.
I like the accuracy.
Yeah. I hope that when I go back down to sea level, they all go back in like Stephanie's did right there. That was a beautiful long birdie.
That birdie
putt.
puts her at 3 under for the round, as well as Jennifer Allen at the moment. Ohn looking to save par, and she does. That was a good scramble for her. And
Dead
I'm
center.
in for the double.
Yeah, it's a good putt. I always tell people a good putt, whether it's a bogey, double bogey, whatever. It's still a good putt. I'm going to tap in here, and I can't get my putter off the ground.
Let's take a look at hole 13, an uphill 252-foot par 3 that plays more like 280 to 295. You've got a low ceiling, but you can aim right below that, possibly at the top of the basket, and get up there. I prefer aiming more towards the middle of the hill and having an uphill putt. This big tree by the basket can often be the obstacle that you're working around for your birdie look. Stephanie Vincent up first.
She's been, I feel like, hitting this line really good all week. Eyes are in over on the left, gets a roll back down kind of to the middle. Not bad. Ohn, good height control. Let's see if she gets a skip up the hill. Not really, but that's going to be circle 1 for the birdie. I love the TL on this. Flip up hyzer.
Using that TL a lot.
I love it at elevation, and that takes a huge skip and roll. I would have never found it, I don't think, if Conrad wouldn't have told me where to go. I had no clue where that went.
I've got the Roadrunner, and I've landed on the right side of that big tree. Hopefully I'll have a putt at the basket. And Stephanie decides not to go for this, even though we've seen her do it in previous days. She opts for the layup safe left of that big tree.
So
and it's actually open.
Yeah, and I've passed the basket quite a bit. One little tree, that skinny little tree, is kind of right in the line, so I try to cut it in. But I'm going to be okay, about maybe 12 feet away. Ohn hits right side rim and unfortunately takes a roll straight to the right. Stays on top of the hill, though. So this is a pretty big death putt. She drills it. I don't know if there's a better death putter in our FPO or FP40 division.
And I misread the wind there and just wasted that one over to the side. I hate that. That's the closest I've gotten all week.
I feel like all week long it's like, yay, finally got it. Oh.
And I've actually got to go to a knee because I've ended up under that branch, and I have the death putt even worse than Ohn.
Yeah.
It's even more
it's
downhill.
So risky. The one time I ever made it on top of this hill, I almost laid it up. I almost didn't even want to putt the birdie because my whole card had already parred. So I was like, this isn't worth it. I'm just going to lay up this birdie.
Stephanie plays for par, and she's successful with her game plan.
Yeah, this is one. Par is just fine. I don't know if we've had too many birdies on it all week.
And I've got the infamous birdogey.
Ugh. We'll blame it on the long week and the hot heat. Hole 14, we're on top now, 237 feet, straight ahead. Kind of a very narrow gap. You don't want to go too high, lots of branches, but you can't take it low. That little bush there, along with all of these rocks, very rare are you going to see a good skip at this basket. A few down trees as well, protecting the green. If you hit the middle air perfectly, you can sneak long.
I feel like this is such a good ace hole. I was waiting for someone to hit it all weekend.
I had so many great looks all week practicing, and I don't think I ever got down there.
Stephanie snuck up there in birdie 1, and we've seen the same shot from Ohn all week, but unfortunately she does not make it into the circle this time.
Ohn loves that kind of air bounce forehand, really sharp, but unfortunately she air bounces it straight into the lava rocks.
The con again?
The con, and this time I was like, forget it, I'm just going to throw it hard. So I did. This is, I guess, probably my best throw on it all week.
And I'm using the Innova Mako once again.
And that is a beautiful shot. She goes just about 10, 12 feet long to the left. Ohn, really long, kind of birdie bid. Has good height.
And what a good gallery we had at 9 o'clock in the morning. It was with 90 degrees.
I know. It was still like when we got out there this morning, I was like, oh, it feels so good. It's nice and cool. I thought I had more height on that. That one just dropped out of the sky. Didn't feel ugly when I let it go, but it sure looked ugly. But
Stephanie Vincent, what a nice long putt for her here on the 14th. We've seen a couple of her putts hit the front of the cage, so that's got to be a good spirit booster for her.
But I feel like she does manage the height better than most of us. Even though she's hit some low as well, we all have. But she does a pretty good job of kind of adapting to the elevation here. Holly with a beautiful birdie. That's going to erase that bogey. And very quickly, we're already over towards the 15th. Ohn tapping out par. Few backups today, but this is definitely plays pretty fast out here.
Hole 15, a par 3, 258 feet. The basket is actually a little to the left, centered in the middle of this section of trees. I prefer a low skip shot. With the route the drone is flying, I use a high-speed driver, hopefully hitting the ground right about here, getting a nice left flare skip that'll put you into circle 1. Have yourself a birdie look. Vincent up first after a nice long putt on the 14th.
Like one of the previous holes, this is, I can't remember which hole it is, but this is another one that has given Stephanie trouble all week long,
we
pulling
haven't
it right.
seen her make the tee shot yet
not
on
once.
15.
And that stump right there really kind of comes into play. You think about it when you're throwing that hyzer route. And I don't know if that's what makes Stephanie pull it, trying to miss it. I try to go on the left side of it, right there where Ohn did.
It doesn't affect me at all. I don't even think about it.
Nice. Ohn gets probably one of the biggest skips out here we've seen all week.
Yeah,
that's going to go long. Yeah, outside circle 2. And I was telling someone, I guess after playing this all week, I probably should have dissed down finally. But you have to kind of throw this pretty hard with some spin.
You do.
To hit the gap. But then it's only 260 feet. So if you hit it clean with some spin, you're going to go long.
And Stephanie with a super scramble here through the trees. And we've seen such a good short game from her all week. She's up in the circle with a par putt. I've got a 50-foot putt for birdie.
And the wind gusting a little differently today, so you can see the flag picking back up there. Still, it maintained a right to left the entire day, which is pretty unusual.
Ohn's putt dropped again.
Yeah,
And
she's so
she is
angry.
sick of
Yeah, she was like, I'm never coming back to Flagstaff. I hate putting here. And that's pretty incredible coming from Ohn. It's definitely frustrating. I
loved that. Up in the air.
Trying to really overcorrect, but you hate to change your putt and just go over the top. You don't know if it's going to lift or drop. But
No, that was a good correction.
that looked good. Just splashing right side. Little wobbly rock there. Have to be careful on the ankles out here. Little America.
Vincent with a bogey here on 15, and I will tap in a par. Yeah, if you watched yesterday's coverage, we mentioned quite a few injuries out here on this treacherous terrain. Really got to pay attention to your footing. You can't just mosey around aimlessly.
Hole 16, 375 feet. This is a long par 3. I don't know if we've had too many birdies besides the lady sitting next to me yesterday with a long putt. But you can hyzer off on the left side. Short is where I actually kind of like to go. I feel like the left side of the green is a little more open. Or try to go over those small pine trees on the right and see how far you can get in and if you have an obstructed putt. Pretty guarded green here.
Jennifer up first after that killer birdie putt on
And it
the
was a
15th.
little early release, but this is a turn, so I was hoping it flipped up, and it did. And that's just kind of where I try to go. It's nothing fancy, just trying to go on the left side.
I like to pull mine to the right and hopefully let the disc hyzer back into the main gap right in front of the basket. And I'm kind of caught up on the right side. I've seen Ohn have some difficulty from that same position
and
the
it's
day
funny.
before.
I continue to tell Ohn that the left side is open. I mean, because we're family here. We try to help our friends. But me being the further thrower of the group, I take the shorter route. And all of you continue to push that right side. And to me, I feel like it adds about 50 feet to the hole. Next year, Ollie. Next time. There
in
we
20
go.
years.
Yeah.
That was the last
Yes,
time it was here,
was.
20 years ago.
Yeah. Gives it a good look.
We'll
Nice,
see you
pretty
in
S.
the FP40 category.
That's right. I'll be here.
And I don't really have a putt, so I'm just going to settle for par, get it as close as I can, and a little help from the tree.
These trees love you on this hole. This is your redirect.
I
And
agree.
Stephanie goes through the V that you hit.
That was for you guys.
You guys at home.
Yeah.
Jennifer with the CTP.
And I think I honestly was worried about my footing landing and kind of let it go just a hair early. But
I knew I didn't hit it as good as you did.
yeah, told her, I was trying to hit that V too, but missed it. I really do think I was kind of worried about my footing, but we're all right there to tap in our 12 footers for par, maybe. Stephanie's a little closer.
I'm in for par. As well as Ohn. So no birdies here on the 16th. That's a tough one to get. You had a look at it.
I did.
Let's check out 17. Another shorty, but not easily accessible. Only 225 feet, a par 3. Jen says she prefers this left route with a turnover. I haven't tried it yet. I had some success with the right side, going with a low flare skip or even a high spike hyzer. I would like to play the turnover shot here. Now that I'm seeing the drone fly several times.
We'll have to practice together next time. I think I went that way. One, I feel like it's way more open. But we usually have the left to right wind off the highway here. We're kind of getting closer out to the highway. And you can kind of just punch and hit those trees and drop down, and you're around circle 1. I get some crazier wind bounces on the right, but today you guys actually had a beautiful wind to go with the hyzer. You're actually cutting it in the inside gap.
That was a mistake, but
It looked
worked
great.
out fine.
Yeah, don't admit that, Holly. That was beautiful gap hit.
Yeah, it's kind of fun when you misfire, but then it works out well.
Yeah, you're like, oh, I didn't see that
Like,
hole.
oh no, oh look at me, I'm putting for birdie.
Going forehand, getting caught up as well. You really have to hit that gap where that blue sky is there on the left to drop in. Stephanie has beautiful height.
I love the
Let's
spike
see if
on
she
this.
punches through, and she does. You just never know where the plinko trees are going to put you. That's dropping her about 18 feet maybe.
Ohn from 55.
And I knew this was in. I felt like she hadn't hit one like all day. At least all day, right?
No long ones.
No.
Like we're used to seeing.
No, we're so used to that. She's finally figuring it out. 6 rounds later. And again, thank you to the gallery, as well as thanking all of you at home for staying tuned with us all week. Holly, little misfire on the right side there.
Sometimes I like to put it right at the spectators instead of the basket.
Yeah. I was really kind of mad at this one. That one felt really good out of my hand.
It wasn't as aggressive as the
But I
previous
felt
hole,
like I
though,
followed
but it's
through
still
good.
accurate right
Yeah.
in the middle of the cage.
Yeah, I felt like I brought the hand up. That's usually where I make the mistake. No mistake for Stephanie.
Stephanie with a great birdie here on the 17th.
I feel like Stephanie and I alternate our good putts. Beautiful comeback. Unfortunately for the bogey, but that was a beautiful putt.
Yeah, that was a nervy bogey save.
I'm going to tap out here, and we are already on the 18th.
An important part of getting a PDGA membership is helping grow the game. Membership dollars are used to bolster competition of all levels, from local C-tiers to majors. Tools like Digital Scorecard and Tournament Manager help events run seamlessly. Your PDGA membership also gives you access to Disc Golf Network coverage for select events and a 50% discount to their full coverage package. Help grow the sport and get started today. Visit pdga.com/join.
The 18th, my personal favorite on the entire course, 605 feet. This is a par 3. The first shot, just get it out there as far as you can. And then I'm sorry, I said a par 3, didn't I? This is a par 4. And second shot, you're going to want to try to sneak in there in between those cedars. The basket is perched up on a little bitty mound there. You can see the wind really blowing that day.
My partner here, the big distance champion, calling it a par 3.
We can get this in 2. Come on.
Now, this wind just kind of messed up, with the angle she used. It just pulled her over and shot it down into the ground.
I think, again, we're used to the right to left, and it wasn't. Mm-hmm. We had a huge, you can see the flag on the basket there. We had a huge right to left all day. So I think she had been used to throwing that sharp edge and turn. And so this is the first time I've changed my disc on the hole, and I went back up to my max weight disc, and I haven't been throwing those all week. Gets a beautiful S flight, about 50 feet shorter than I had been going, but I'm still landing about 250 feet from the basket.
Beautiful drive. And I've just seen Ohn's and Stephanie's disc turn over with that angle, so I try to control mine a bit, but it does the same thing.
Smashes down.
Yep.
It's all about the angle when you're fighting the wind.
Probably only made it about 290 off the tee, so now I've got pretty hefty upshot. Just give it a full send and see where it ends up.
Just a little short, and unfortunately it looks like you're going to be obstructed by that big tree on the left. Ohn going direct, probably destroyer right at it. Let's see if she skips. No, that's also going to be short. So again, those tee shots, they really needed just a little more distance on them so they could get the look for birdie. Let's see if Stephanie can punch up there. And that flips a little, but that's going to help her get more distance, so that's okay. Unfortunately, that right side is a little bit tougher to reach the basket.
Yeah, it's a little thick over there.
So again, I'm going con, even though it's about 50 feet further.
Standstill putter right up there with a drop-in birdie.
I love this
That's why she
hole.
called it a par 3, y'all. Because for her, it is a par 3.
Yeah, I wanted that one.
Mrs. Ohn's third shot, looking to play the hole for par. Or possibly birdie.
Oh, good kick right underneath it.
What an accurate upshot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really think this is a fun green to throw into.
And I've decided just to lay it up for par. I don't need to try to make this from 100 feet out.
I don't think you realized how close that was. When I saw that, I'm the little fangirl in the background screaming. I thought you were going to throw it in. This is Stephanie. She got caught up on the first attempt.
For par.
And she makes it. So she is finishing the round at 4 under. I'm going to need this tap in to match. Wind is picking up. I hadn't turboed in forever. I
know.
Man, I kind of miss it. So I was like, why not?
I noticed
One
that
time.
You haven't been turboing.
I don't know why here I don't do it as often. I guess because they're nice flat. We don't have a lot of elevated there's no elevated baskets really, so.
Mm-hmm. And I'm in for par as well as Ohn Scoggins.
So Holly's going to finish up 2 under for the round. Ohn at 3 under. Not a lot of shifting. And I do believe all 4 of us are going to remain on the card for the final round here, the Final 9 holes, Ohn 31, Holly 25, Stephanie 18, myself at 17.
It's a close race between you and Stephanie for sure. And once again, here are the 8 women that made it to the semis today and got to play their round at the Little America Crew Course. We appreciate you guys tuning in with us, and please check back in tomorrow. We will be with you for the final 9 again here at Little America Crew Course.